3 emails, Carl, but
There was a theme?
so I brought something that is absolutely, totally anti-technology. And what I brought was what I did in my physical science class yesterday and today. So I'll show you, and then I'm actually looking for your ideas. So I'll tell you what I did, what results we got, why I did it, and then I'm looking for how would we change it or not. And I'm just stealing your glasses again. The part, I guess I have a shameless plug too. I teach chemistry and I also teach physical science. And I've taught the same level of intro physical science that Carl taught at Schaumburg. And those are the really, can I just say tough kids? I mean, they're great kids, but they're really tough kids. But the nice thing about teaching intro to physical science in my district is that, generally speaking, those kids will not take chemistry, and all of your favorite things from chemistry, at least at Schaumburg, we just use steel and, you know, and modify for our intro level. But I'm teaching the physical science level, and those kids feed into chemistry, and the really tough part is that all my favorite things for chemistry are in chemistry, and then there's physical science. So I'm looking for, what do I do to teach those basic skills? Because it's really tough, because you're working at a low level. So they've written formulas, and now we're into starting to balance equations. And what I'm working on is trying to establish that mass does not change in a chemical reaction, so conservation of mass. So I thought, okay, what can I do? And there was an old Materials World module on concrete that I love, and my roommates do not like the mess. And for me, the more mess, the better. But not everybody feels that way. So I said, I'm gonna bring in some of that concrete. So I visited my daughter at U of I, and she goes, Mom, where do you want to go? And I said, Home Depot, I need cement. So, and I bought this cement, which is Rapid Set, because I could carry it. And I said, all right, because I just love this cement, this concrete module. So yes, this is what I bring for the technology day. I have gravel, I have sand, I have cement, and I have molds that I got at Joann's, something like that. They're little. You're supposed to make cupcakes in them. But I sprayed them down with a little bit of Pam, and I said, you know what, I think because the water is hydrating the cement, I think the mass should be the same from day 1 to day 2. So this is what I did, and this is really quick, and if somebody would like this to take home, please do. And I had to do this quickly, again, because just of time, and I was also trying to be considerate of my roommates, because there's 4 of us sharing a room, which is kind of tough. So I said, okay, kids, 3 scoops of sand. Oops, 1, 2, 3. Like that, and 3 scoops of gravel, or coarse aggregate, if you would like to call it that.
Does Flynn sell that?
What?
Does Flynn sell that?
Probably.
No, they will now.
You'll have to put the kit together, get the write-up pretty big.
I mean, you could have them mask this out, but just because of the number of kids and the size of my class and the number of balances that I have, I just decided, you know what, just go for it. And three kind of heaping scoops. I use the heaping scoops, maybe not. And it's very forgiving. You just slap it together. And honestly, my kids were like, dirt! That's what they said. It's dirt. It's sand. Okay, honestly, one of my kids said, is that gravel? Yeah, that's gravel. So life skills, that's what gravel is. Is that gravel? And then...
So do you use this for your concrete learners?
I did, that's what it was titled, Concrete Learners. And I just want to get a little bit of water.
He's been working on it. You can see this thing.
Don't hurt yourself.
I smelled an electrical.
And I said 15, 20 milliliters of water, and I just slopped it, and they were just happy as clams, just mixing dirt. I said it's kind of like mud. So when they mixed it up, and then they poured it into the mold, and I had it sprayed with just a little bit of Pam so it would come out. And they were like, "Ooh, a star!" Like they were very excited. And then I had them mass the concrete mixture yesterday in the mold. And then they wrote that down. And I was going, please, please, please be the same. Please, please, please. And this was when we had a little incident in my school in biology where we had the hazmat team in yesterday. So they closed off the ventilation. It must have been 1,000,000 degrees in my room. Anyway, that's what the story I told the kids, and I'm sticking with it. Because they popped them out. Well, they came back in today, and they were excited, and they remasked. And the masses today were anywhere from 92 on the low to 98% of what they were yesterday. And the kid said, oh, well, it went down. And I said, well, you know, I just went around. And I said, well, you know, that's 98% of what it was yesterday. Oh, that's pretty close to 100. And I said, well, where do you think the mass went? Oh, it evaporated. Okay, what evaporated? The sand? The water evaporated. And I could see that happening, but for the most part, the mass was the same because I want to get into balancing and have that conservation of mass going. So this is what they came up with today, and they were just quite excited because they've never done any work, you know, and to see that the form changed and there's a new substance, and they were quite delighted with that. So that was what I did, something a little bit different, and that very concrete, you know, for my kids that like to just play in the dirt, to get to the mass does not change. And I thought it was simple, it was cheap, and some of them kept them. What we also did at ASM, which stands for, there was an ASM camp at Northern, what does that stand for?
Applied Science Materials.
A science materials. There was
Material
materials
science.
camp. What we did, this was good. What we did was comparing regular concrete to reinforced concrete. And we made a concrete, just whatever, in a mold. And then we added some, I think it was Easter grass, cut up Easter grass as a reinforcer. And then we took the blocks of concrete and we actually dropped them on nobody was there, we weren't dropping them on people. We dropped the unreinforced concrete and the reinforced concrete, and it really showed that even the Easter grass reinforcing the concrete really, really strengthened it. So it's a nice thing, and that's what I did, something different for conservation of mass. But they all came out a little lower, but it was, I think it was really, they all said, oh, well, the water evaporated. So at least we can calculate this is how much water evaporated. So that was something for my concrete learners. So if anybody would like a concrete star, just as a reminder, or a box of cement and some sand and gravel, really, please do. And the other thing that I had not seen until about 2 years ago, sorry, Pat, do you sell these?
What is it?
These are thermoplastic polymer beads.